Hello, everybody. It's Melanie Browning here with another Spotlight interview. It's been a little bit of time since my last one, but I'm really excited to be back and continuing on with the series of the wonderful actors and filmmakers from Beans, the pilot that I was able to be a fly on the wall during filming. So I'm super excited to be back, and my guest tonight is Jaimi Romano, and she is here. She's an actress out of, I believe, New Mexico. She's also has representation here in Arizona and in New Mexico. So I'm super excited. If you guys please can welcome Jaimi Romano. Let me see if I can get her on here real quick. All right. Popping up shortly. Thank you so many for joining already. Hey, Jaimi, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Doing great. You look fantastic. So welcome
Thank you.
on.
I'm
I'm
excited to be
super
here.
happy that you agreed to join on tonight. So for those of you that don't know, like I was mentioning, and I believe Cameron is on here. Cameron Price made this wonderful introduction to Vincent Rutley and Jeffrey Goldstein, and from there I was able to just hang out on set and meet so many amazing people, and Jaimi was one of those people. So I'm
Oh,
super excited. Jaimi, so in your bio, it says that you've been acting, going after your acting career professionally for the past 3 years. Um,
yes.
can you go ahead and give a background in that? I really love how, like, through a different avenue, you were introduced to an improv class, and that's really kind of what gave you that sneak peek. But kind of let's go back to that and, what was going on in your mind and how that process looked for you.
Yeah. Well, I grew up like not into acting at all. Like my family, some of my family was like artistic and did improv, like my uncle, but otherwise, like it was just not a thing. And I was actually in college, and my boyfriend was like interning at an acting studio, and he asked me to do an improv workshop, which was actually kind of a trick because it was a workshop, but then we also had to perform for a live audience. And at
Ooh.
the time, it was absolutely terrifying. I hated it, but loved it at the same time. Like there was just something about it that was so addicting. And from then on, I decided, okay, I'm going to start taking acting classes. So I started taking acting classes. I took classes for a couple of years before I decided to like really pursue acting as a career. And it was actually during the pandemic when everything was shut down that I was like, you know what? Why don't we give this a try? Which is kind of ironic that that's when I decided. But yeah,
That is
it
funny,
was.
but I mean, a lot of things kind of changed, and I think really helped a lot of actors that aren't, in the bigger areas, to be able to at least audition for those roles and take on new challenges, I think. So it
Oh
seems
yeah.
odd, like an odd time to go into it, but really with everything shifting and changing, it's good because it's new. You know what I mean? So even if you're new
Hmm.
into acting, a lot of people, hadn't really got into so much of the Zoom auditions or sending in, your self tapes and stuff like that. So it's actually kind of makes a lot of sense. So that's awesome that you had that intuitive hit there to jump in.
Yeah, it worked out for me, honestly.
So one thing that I wanted to kind of go over, because it is, I mean, 3 years, that's a great time to be in it, but it is still kind of fresh and new.
Hmm.
And so I kind of wanted to ask you, for those that are watching, because I love doing this show, to celebrate you, celebrate the actors, the people that come on the show, and also to encourage people to go after their dreams. So for some of the people out there that maybe took an improv class and enjoyed it, but they're like, what do I do next?
Yeah.
Can you go ahead and like give some of the key points that worked for you as far as steps you took into getting into acting so that you would feel comfortable into, presenting yourself, or what kind of things you use to present yourself, and how you either got representation or were able to
Hmm.
submit to roles, or even where to find to submit to these roles?
Yeah. Well, I guess the big thing that I had to get over, and truly I wish I had gotten over it sooner, I still deal with it all the time, is feeling the imposter syndrome or feeling like you're not good enough. I feel that's probably like the main reason why so many people don't pursue acting, is because they're worried about what other people think of them. And, I am one of those people. Like I struggled with that for a long time, which is why I didn't really pursue it as a career. And my advice is that, like, just be comfortable with who you are. And it's really difficult to do that. It's difficult to get over your insecurities, but there is a space for you in acting. And that was the one thing that I had to realize. After that, it was kind of like, okay, what do I do now? I was like, I don't know how to pursue acting. So one of the things that I did was I started working with an acting coach, Michelle Tomlinson. I love her. She taught me the business of acting. So, there's acting classes. Obviously, you need to learn a lot of the basics, the skills in acting in general. But then there's this other side to it that a lot of people don't talk about, which is that you have to, build a resume. You have to find independent work to add to your resume before you can even really pursue an agent. And then you also have to get headshots. You have to sign up for websites where you can get access to more roles outside of your community. So there's this like whole slew of stuff that needs to get done in order to just really succeed and grow. So what I did was I actually kind of asked around. I asked some friends and said, like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And they pointed me in the right direction. So, definitely ask actors that and respect, like, what did you do? Or do you know someone that I can speak to about this? That's what I did. And
I like that. I just want to pause and emphasize
yeah.
that point. Ask actors that you know and respect. Like, so, there are a lot of different people out there, but the people that are doing the work that you want to be doing, like to get credible information, because there's so much different information and there's different avenues that you can take. I'm not saying, there's the right and the wrong, but definitely, yeah, look at the people that you trust that are going down the path the way that you want to go down it. I think that's very, very helpful. That's a good tip there.
Yeah. And I've been really lucky. I don't think I've ever worked with an actor that I didn't like. And I know that people have had stories where they didn't really get along with someone, but on every single project I've worked on, I've really liked the people that I've been acting with and have respected them. So that was kind of easy for me too, is, finding people who had some good recommendations for me. But one of the big things in Arizona, now I'm located in Albuquerque, but I was born and raised in Arizona and I started acting in Arizona. So one of the things that I did was I started going onto this website called durantcom.com, and they post a lot of local gigs. So student films, some paid roles, a lot of theater. And that's the big place to start is student films, in my opinion, because everybody is learning with you. It's a very collaborative environment, and it's just what I would say is like a great place to start at. And the roles are more accessible, especially locally in Arizona. So I went on to Durant like every day. Every day I was going on and just checking for roles, like what can I find? What can I audition for? And that's really part of it. I had to create profiles on like Backstage and Actors Access, and create these profiles and get headshots, which was super uncomfortable for me because I'm incredibly awkward in photos. Like I'm not a photogenic person. It's just like very uncomfortable for me.
All the photos you sent are just absolutely amazing. So you rocked it.
Oh,
You
it was
definitely
a
rocked
struggle. Thank you. I'm more comfortable in front of, like, weirdly enough, like a crew with video cameras. I don't know why. It's like photography is just something that I still struggle with. So
well, you did it well. So whoever
thank
took
you.
your headshots connected with you well and got that personality to come through, because I did see your personality in your headshots. So you
Thank
picked well.
you. Yeah, Brian Perla Photography, highly recommend him. He is in LA though.
That's a short little jump over there.
Short jump over.
Yeah. That's awesome. But yeah, finding the people that work well, you work well with. So that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a mentor to kind of guide you through it. You asked other actors that were doing what you wanted to do, and from there, like, did you just do step by step? Like, were there any hesitant moments, or did you just go, okay, I'm going to do this? Like, how was your mindset during this once you decided to go forward?
I think even today, like through all of this, it's always been kind of half and half for me. I always will go for something, you know, even if I have doubts about it myself. I'm like, I don't know if this is going to pan out. I don't know if I'm going to look stupid. I will always go for it. And that's something that I recommend to anyone is even if you have your doubts, like just go for it because you're going to regret it if you don't at least try. And so even when I have my doubts, I still will, you know, try something out. When I was trying to get an agent in Arizona, I was terrified. I was like, who's going to sign me? You know, I think maybe one short film on my resume, and it was like my boyfriend's short film. So it was like, I automatically got the part.
But
so
you knew that.
Yeah,
No one
nobody
else
else knew
needs
that.
to know that.
Yeah. And even like I didn't have a demo reel, and I ended up actually writing monologues, original monologues, and having someone film me as if I was in a scene so that I could have content for a demo reel. Because every time you submit, people ask for your headshot, your resume, and your demo reel. And it's important to have something to give them. So, you know, I had doubts about not having stuff on my resume. So I said, okay, I'm going to create my own scene and put it in my demo reel until I can get something.
And that's awesome to do, because right there it shows your problem solving abilities, and you're taking action to actually do something. And I think, you know, it's important to build up the resume and have stuff on your resume, but also taking the time, even if your resume doesn't have a whole lot yet, to go through the process of making one, finding a way to get a demo reel. Maybe it's not, you know, the biggest that everyone says that you need to do, and, you know, make sure you're the first one on the scene and all the different rules that go with it, but you're making something and you're presenting it, and it does come across to people looking to hire you that, hey, this person's taking this for real, you know. So it adds to that. So that's a great example to set for people that are hesitant, because I know we get caught up in our heads, oh, it's not good enough, it's not that, but yeah, definitely moving forward on it. That's exciting. Like, and writing your own monologues, that's, to me, that's even another like level of
Right.
really exposing yourself. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's great. When I had when I was able to meet you, I met you on the set for the pilot Beans, which is in its final stages of post, from what I understand, and it's so exciting. But what really stood out, number one, your personality, and you just have this light about you, and you draw a lot of attention to yourself, not in a overly overt way. You just a very beautiful soul. And on there, what I like to hear is like the kind of a little bit of the behind the scenes. And what it sounded like is that you got the part, you got hired for the part, and then after that, and correct me if I'm wrong, later they're like, oh, by the way, we need you to sing, and then, oh, by the way, we need you to do the sign language. So kind of what was that like for you? And what stood out was that you were able to do it. You accepted the challenge, and kind of, can you tell everyone what you did to go ahead and prepare for that role?
Yeah. Well, Jeffrey Goldstein, the writer and director of Beans, he cast me in Beans a while back, and, you know, there were some hurdles. So they went on a hiatus, and luckily this over the summer we were able to, I guess it was like actually just a couple months ago, not even the summer, we were able to film it. And so that was really exciting for me because I had really been looking forward to the role. And yeah, that is kind of what happened, was that I got the role, and then Jeff reached out to me and said, oh, hey, by the way, can you sing? And I was like, I had never sang before. Like I think I had sang in front of my sister, and that was it.
Oh, wow.
Not a natural singer. So I just said, you know, I will try it out. I'll do my very best. I don't have a lot of range, but I think I can sing these couple of lines, because it wasn't much. And then when I was reading through the script, I noticed at the last scene, with David Walton Rice as Jonathan, we had to use sign language. I know, he's amazing.
You guys are so
incredible
cute
actor.
So cute.
Thank you. He's an incredible actor. I was very lucky to work with him, but we had to sign to each other, and I was like, I don't know sign language, but I'm going to learn because it's in the scene, it's part of the character. And that's what's really important to me is that when I accept a character, I want to envelop who they are. Obviously, I want to bring certain parts of me, but I want to understand where they're coming from and the life that they're living. That's how I get into my character. And so I started taking lessons in sign language. I started taking vocal lessons, and I learned what I needed to learn to fulfill those parts of the script. And again, like it wasn't a huge part of the script, but it was really important to me that I got it, and that I felt comfortable doing it because not only was I singing, but I was also singing in front of like an entire crew and some of the cast who were watching it happen. And I had to just like center myself and sing. And what I will say was that it was an incredible experience. It was a huge growth moment for me because I do think it's very important as an actor to learn new skills and to constantly be, taking acting classes, yes, but also like what other things can you learn how to do? What are things that you can add to your resume and that just make you a more well-rounded actor? And Beans definitely did that for me, that's for sure. I had also never done television and comedy. So
oh wow.
It was the first all across the board.
Because you seem very relaxed, and the singing, you knocked it out of the park. And that's why I went later when you're like, I've never sung before. And I was like, what? That's awesome, because you did great. And like you said, in front of like there are musicians there. There was another singer there. There are a lot of different people on set, and you did great. Yeah, and there was so much energy in the room, and yeah, it was really great performance. So well done. And it shows when you put a lot of work into the research and getting in touch with your character. So you did a great job on that.
Thank you.
What are you aiming for next? Is there a particular goal that you have in mind, or different things that you want to try out? Something new, or continue down a certain road? Have you found the avenue that you want to explore? What is it in store for you?
Ooh, that's a great question. I mean, the ultimate goal for me is acting. I absolutely love acting. But I also have found in the last like year or two, I really enjoy writing, and I've started writing different scripts. I haven't produced anything yet. I'm a little scared. I'll admit, to share the scripts with people, but I'm working on that. And then I've also produced a couple short films. I helped produce a documentary recently, and that has been really incredible to be on the other side of things. Because I just like doing all sorts of stuff. That's just who I am. And the other part of my life, I work in like event planning and marketing, and it's a lot of multitasking. So I enjoy the multitasking, the planning, but ultimately acting is my passion. I never thought I'd say that, when I was like 15. I never thought I would be acting.
Awesome.
But
that's awesome.
I would love to book bigger roles and just continue to work on my craft, do some theater, things like that.
That's awesome. I want to jump in real quick. Angel Ruiz, the DP, and who's doing all the amazing editing on this film, is here. Hi, Angel. Thanks for joining us. He said you did great on all of your scenes, which absolutely you did. And he's like, I can help her produce her film. So that is huge right there. That's amazing. So
Angel, we need to talk. Thank you.
Definitely. That's someone you want on your side.
Yeah, he's amazing. Yes.
He is. Like the little bit that we're getting back is just like, I want to see it. I want to see it.
Oh, so, I know. I saw the first little clip. I loved it.
It's awesome. So thank you, Angel. That's huge. That's wonderful. That's exciting. Like producing, it can cover so much, especially like in indie. But it's really exciting. Like that's really the fun part of really trying to help bring stuff together. So that's awesome. But and then getting back into focusing on what it is that you truly love. So finding that place that you're happy with is exciting, and I'm very excited for you in going down the avenues and growing. just keep going after it. And I know you'll get what you want. So I'm excited for you. And I look forward. Hopefully we have some sort of viewing of Beans. That would be
Oh,
super
yeah.
awesome if we can get that in. So
I hope so.
are there any other tips out there that you want to share with people, whether they're into acting, other filmmakers or artists, or any kind of goal that someone, is thinking about? Do you have any tips for anyone out there? I mean, in addition to the many that you've already shared here.
I'd say stay focused. It's really easy to get distracted by all of the other things going on in life. I've been through it. I still go through it, when you're really, really focused and then something gets your attention in life. And sometimes it's inevitable and that's okay, but it's important to establish some sort of routine. And I touched on it a little bit before, but establish a group of people that you trust and people who can not only encourage you, but also in some ways help you, and then you can help them. A lot of times acting can feel really competitive because you're competing for roles, against other people. But I have friends that are actors where we've gone up for the same role multiple times, but we're still really good friends and we still support each other. And that's really important in this business because sometimes it can feel really lonely. And for me, like the imposter syndrome of like, I wasn't a child actor. Like, can I even do this? Like that definitely hits me every once in a while. But I think if somebody can establish whatever they're doing, establish a routine, and just stay focused on the passion that they have. Those are two really important things. And have fun, because
Yes.
It's so easy to just get bogged down by the stress of, it's another gig I didn't get. But 9 out of 10 auditions you're not going to book. And that's just the reality of it. Like, you have to get used to not always getting everything, and I don't really consider those failures either. As people say, it is an opportunity to perform. And while sometimes I can really get nervous and forget that, it is my opportunity to perform an audition, as much as you can do to remember that and bring who you are to whatever you're doing, that's very important.
Oh, I love those. Those are great tips. The clarification on it, as far as, the people around you of really, and it's so true. I think a lot of people, I know, like when I was younger and into acting, it felt so competitive. And that's where my mindset was. The people that I had around me at a young age were like, acting's hard, it's competitive, it's cutthroat, you can't trust anyone. And that was really what was pounded into my head, or what I allowed to. I let that fear kind of get in there. And so that's kind of, I'm sure it played a huge part in me going, I'm going to go do this 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But being able to meet other people that are so giving, like I wouldn't be having this conversation with you if it wasn't for Cameron. I wouldn't have met all these wonderful people that I've been able to interview and bring on here without Cameron and Jeffrey and Vincent, and just everyone being so willing to come on this show, it's just, you could be doing something better with your time right now. And it's just, there are people out there wanting to help you grow, because it really is, if you look for the people that are saying, okay, let's grow together, let's help each other out, let's be good actors and humans and do it for the joy. There are those people out there. So if you have it in your mind that, it's cutthroat, you're going to find that. And if you have it in there that there are people there willing to help you, people willing to give you a break and all of those things, you're going to find that as well. So thank you for clarifying that, because it's absolutely true. It's so amazing.
I will say though that it's also just as important to have people in on your side who aren't in the industry. I think when I first started taking acting classes, my parents were like, "What are you doing? Like, what is going on here?" And it took a while for them to see that like this is something that I love doing, and it's something that like I'm so happy when I get to be on set in general. And like when they saw how much I light up when I get to talk about acting, they kind of came back over to my side. And it's the regular parent things worrying about their kid, but I have incredible friends and family who have supported me along the way and have done so much to make sure that I'm happy and I'm successful in what I'm doing. It makes me like kind of emotional even talking about it. I love my friends and family, and they have been so supportive to me over these years, and that's just as important as having people in the industry who care about you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, shout out to all those friends and
I
family,
know.
and even to the ones that question you, because we might want to be like, oh, you're not supporting me, but no, really, what I think, what if they do it in a loving way, it
Mm-hmm.
really does help you tap into, okay, is this really something I do want? That pushback and that challenge to really ask yourself the questions of, is this really what I want to go after? Am I willing to sacrifice this for that?
Yeah.
That's important as well. So if you do get some people that, people throw around the word haters so much, you do get those people in your life, see what's reflecting back to you. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
what is it sparking inside you? Is it making you go, oh yeah, I can't do this? Well, then you need to look inside yourself there. Or is it sparking, no, I can do this. I'm going to do this. Let me show you,
Yep.
kind of thing. So yeah, all of those things are so important. But yeah, I'm so happy that you have support within the acting community, and your friends and family that have been there for you. So that's amazing. Um, Thank you so much for being on here. What are you up to? Where do we find you? What do we look forward to?
Ooh.
Where should we go to check out some of your work, if you have anything that you want to plug or that you can yet?
Yeah. Okay, so what have I been up to? So I told you I recently helped produce a documentary about a composer and pianist from originally from Ukraine named Lubomir Melnik. So that was an incredible experience. And so that documentary will be coming out probably next year. But in
Awesome.
terms of acting, look out for Beans, the TV pilot. That should be hopefully available at some point for everyone to see. Incredible cast. I'm so lucky to have worked with like truly phenomenal actors on this project. Every single one of them just knocked it out of the park.
Yep,
And so
absolutely.
definitely look out for Beans. And as of right now, I don't have another project going right now, but I'm always auditioning and looking forward to the next thing that comes my way. Um, and anything else? I'm not sure. Well, if people want to connect with me, they can connect with me on Instagram is a great way. I have a little like link tree on my Instagram that has, like my actors access, IMDb, demo reel type stuff. So people can see some of my clips on there. And I mean, anyone who wants to connect on a project or get to know me, feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, great stuff. Thank you again for being here. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you,
And
Melanie.
those of you watching, definitely stay tuned. I share um, guests that have been on in my stories a lot of times, kind of updates of what they're on. If they have something coming up, I share in there. So definitely go through, follow the guests that are on here and see what they're doing, encourage them. And connect here also. If you're wanting to start off on a dream that you have, especially in acting and filmmaking, reach out here. Jaimi's already expressed you can reach out to her as well. So don't do this alone. There are people out there absolutely want to inspire you, encourage you to go after your big dreams. So do it. You only have one life. So thank you so much, Jaimi. Have a wonderful night. Thank you everyone for
Thank
joining us,
you.
and take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.